So that's what I've called the hits outlet, because it's going to display their hits. So we've got a little placeholder here, but this isn't even rendering because we don't have that route created yet. Let's go back over here into the Ember console and take a look at what we're talking about. So we're talking about when we hit the artist ID route, and there is no route called artist route yet. I wish I could expand these tabs. I don't know yet how to do that, but this would say artist route. So let's go ahead and create that. Maybe save a couple seconds of typing by taking this out and then just adding a artist to this. And this is because we have the resource nested in here, right? Okay, so when we get in here, we want to actually return an individual model from that array that points to the data segment in that params ID. So params ID, rather artist ID, is going to point to the ID of the artist we clicked on the sidebar. So what we want to do is return the model that represents that artist. So in our artificial artists array up here, I conveniently match the ID with the indice of the array. So in Ember data or something like that, you do this slightly different. Say this stored dot find, but at the end of the day, you'd still pass this artist ID like this. So it's actually quite similar. So that will return the model, and now we need to render our template. We're actually going to render two templates because we want to get the sidebar and the main content. So let's start with getting the sidebar back. So this will actually be the same as we did up here. So I normally feel very sensitive to duplication, but it's just one line, so that's fine. Here we want to render hits into application into the hits outlet. So I'm just going to read this through one more time so you really get this syntax. I'm rendering my artist template into the application template using the named outlet artist, and I'm also rendering my hits template into application into the named outlet hits. And let's just look at that one more time. So these are the full templates. This is hits, and this is the full template for artists, and these are the corresponding outlets, and they live within application. So there's a little mental juggling to do, but hopefully it's not too bad. So let's reload this and see what happens. Okay, so the hits template is now rendering. So when I go to these different URLs, that guy's rendering for each one of them. So that's good. So now I just need to actually add the markup in handlebars templates that will render out those models. So this is going to be an individual model that we found through the ID. So if I'm at artists of ID 1, that's going to give me this Beatles object. So what we want to do in here is, well, let's first just print out the name, because we know that artist has a name. There's the Beatles. So I'm going to go ahead and zip through this because I do have this pre-styled and I don't want this video to take forever, so bear with me for a second while I get a little quieter and just type this out. We want to grab this avatar And the source is going to be bound to the avatar property in our model. We'll give it a class of avatar. And then we'll go ahead and put out the artist's name. And then call this top hits. This will be kind of a label, or rather a header for our section where we list out the hits. And then here we want to actually go ahead and list out this artist's hits. So we'll do that in an unordered list. So for each one of their hits, well, let's go back to the model so I can show you what's going on here. Each one of these models has a property called hits, which is an array of their hits. So for each one of their hits, we are going to loop through, and we will create an li and just print out that hit. And this just refers to that particular hit in the iteration that we're on. So if we save that out and reload, we now see our hits. I think I had this when I practiced this to the right, so I probably misnamed something. I'll quickly look to see if I can get that fixed. Yeah, I didn't name this class. See if that fixes it. There you go. So there we go. We have a little sidebar master detail type of view. Wasn't too terribly painful to do. And we showed an example of using named outlets and plopping those into application, and sort of the render template mechanism that allows you to do that, which we used here and here. Hope it was useful. Thanks for watching.